Coming at you with a little bit of a different one today. I am giving you my first impressions of Star Wars Outlaws for the PlayStation 5. Now, the code was provided to me by Ubisoft, but this does not affect any of my opinions that I'm going to give you. These are my opinions and my opinions alone. Another thing that you need to know, I guess, when we go into this video is that I'm not a Star Wars fan whatsoever. My knowledge is about pop culture as it gets. I'm aware of Darth Vader. I know that there's lightsabers. I know Luke, I am your father. No, and all of that. But apart from that, no knowledge, no lore whatsoever. So I guess it kind of gives you a unique perspective on this game. But I have played Jedi Fallen Order and I got the Platinum Trophy on it. And I thought, you know what, I might enjoy this. So with that being said, what is up guys, Jen here. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, got you covered with timestamps. So if there's a certain section you want to skip to, feel free to do so. All I ask is for you to hit the like button. And if you want to stick around with more content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Right, I always like to talk about story and characters first, but so far I've just been plodding along when it comes to the story and characters. I think Kay's an alright main character. I think as time has gone on, I've grown to like her more, but not many things to say about the story. I guess there might be a lot of lore things that I'm missing because I don't really know much about Star Wars, but it is a story that I am following and looking forward to see where it is going next. The main hook for me when it comes to Star Wars Outlaws is its exploration. I really like myself an open world game, though I do suffer from open world fatigue, but it was really nice to open the map as I went out into the world, that there wasn't icons littered everywhere. There wasn't a question mark here, there wasn't a thing here. The way Star Wars Outlaws tackles this is essentially on your little mini map on the top of the screen. If you come close to a proximity of an interesting location, it will appear, and then it's up to you if you want to pique that interest. And me being me, I always have my interest piqued, so for that reason I slowly get myself overwhelmed, but I think that's a fault in me and not in the game. They've tried something different, it works, but I just want to explore everything. But I'm thinking that I'm going to change my approach and I'm just going to main story it, and if there is something that might be interesting, I will go over to it. But it's just the love-hate relationship I have with open world games. Most places at the moment that I am trying to go into and explore and get all the loot that's available are locked and required upgrades, so I guess that's a blessing in disguise. But I'm guessing to get said upgrades I might have to find other locations. See, I'm getting interested again just talking about it. I'm like, should I go back? Should I not go back? But I like exploring Star Wars Outlaws. It's a very interesting world. There's a lot of NPCs to listen to. There's data pods to read to get more information. I was listening to these two NPCs talk about a speeder that had crashed in a location, but when it was marked on my objectives, it didn't mark the map. It simply said it is close to a cave near a certain vicinity or something along those lines. And I was like, oh, I passed that vicinity. So I went on my speeder, went to the vicinity, and I seen a gaping hole. I look down that hole and I see the crashed speeder. I get to the bottom and then that objective flashes that I found it, and I get a little bit of loot. So I do really like some of the things that they do. Again, reading data pods can also open up opportunities to find things in the open world, but I guess it's completely optional for you to do it. And I guess anything negative I'm saying is probably on me more than the game. I also want to shout out Sebek. It's one of many mini games, but the most prominent mini game in Star Wars Outlaws. It is a game that I've gotten quite addicted to, and I spent about an hour last night just trying to beat one person. There's a lot to it, but I appreciate mini games in here that make sense and work and are quite addictive, so shout out to the mini games of Star Wars Outlaws. I guess I'm going to end exploration in a little bit of a negative, and I think it's something overall that the whole game suffers from, and I don't know if this is because it's before its day one patch, but it's very clunky. It reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn. So for example, you have this open world which you look like you can traverse, you can climb mountains. Yes, it's not Breath of the Wild, but you really could probably get to more locations easier if you could climb. And a lot of these places you look like you can climb, but I jump and I can't climb. I jump and I can't climb. So I guess it suffers a little bit from that clunk, and there is more clunk that it suffers from when we talk about the combat. But there's also exploration in space. I've only touched on that a little at the moment, but I have enjoyed traversing through space and going to a location, beating some pirates, even though I had a bit of a glitch which would not let me target any of the ships. So I had to soft reset and go back into the game, and it was fixed in an instant. But that was a little bit frustrating because I didn't get it at first. I kept reading the tutorial, and the tutorial was like, shoot the white dot. I was shooting the white dot and it was doing nothing. This went on for 15 minutes till I thought, you know what, let's soft reset it. Did it again, boom. Beat it straight away. So I guess it's still suffering for a few glitches here and there. And also going between the planets and the space, there is a few loading issues, like it's supposed to disguise it in the clouds, which gives the game time to load the outer space or vice versa, but it kind of loads some of it in front of the cloud and the fog. It's a bit weird and glitchy sometimes, but I'm sure this is something easy that can be fixed in a day one patch. If it doesn't, then I think this is going to be one thing that a lot of people complain about. Finishing off that space exploration, I have played a lot of No Man's Sky lately, and I really like the way that I can control ships in that. So when I'm trying to control a ship in Star Wars Outlaws, I'm a bit clunky myself, I guess. Okay, combat of Star Wars Outlaws. I didn't expect this to be as stealthy as it was, and when I found out like it was stealthy, I'm one of those gamers that kind of like stealth and will try not start a firefight, but I guess some of the stealth mechanics aren't working properly, or I'm just really bad at the stealth in this game because I don't get much chance to react. Like if I go out of line just a little bit, I'm caught, and then I have my wanted level and I'm like, no, I don't want that. And I kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit. But as time's gone on and I've unlocked like the silent footsteps, stealth has been a bit more tolerable. I've enjoyed it. I've liked using little nicks to distract enemies and cover my back so I don't get caught as often, and the stealth elements have been quite enjoyable. When it comes to the gun combat, this is where the clunk returns a little bit. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like pre-patch gameplay or just me sucking at the game, but when it comes to its gun combat, I do like blasting people in the face or stunning people. I wish I had more stun rounds, and I'm guessing this is something I will unlock and upgrade later in the game, but I wish I had more because I like playing the stealth approach. But gun combat, yeah, it's alright, I guess. It's not bad. But when I actually don't want to get wanted or pursued by a certain faction, it can be a bit, and I want my wanted level to go and it won't go, and I'm hiding in the bush waiting for it to go and it's still not going, and then it goes like after 5 minutes. So I guess I got away with it. But yeah, combat I have tended to try and avoid because I like doing more stealth, but I'm sure with more upgrades and throwing grenades and doing other things with nicks, combat might be quite enjoyable. A few other things when it comes to Star Wars Outlaws, it has this reputation system. So you have a few factions, you do jobs for them, you increase your level in that faction, you get cheaper discounts at their shops, you get access to their areas to the point where you can just steal their items and they won't care about it. And you also get a few unlocks and rewards as well, whether that's trinkets to boost up certain statistics or different outfits for Kay to wear, or it could be paints for your speeder or your ship. There's a lot to it, very in depth. I thought at one session I was like, okay, I'm going to dive into this really deep, and then I had trouble trying to choose a faction that I wanted to side with. So I thought, nope, back to the main story for me. But then again, those question marks crop up and I'm in that vicious circle once again. There is so much to Star Wars Outlaws that I've probably not explained yet, but this is kind of like a first impressions. I'm just blessed that I've had the opportunity to play early, and I do plan indeed on completing it, and if that platinum trophy is tolerable, then I will go for that also. One more thing I want to shout out before we wrap things up is the accessibility that comes with Star Wars Outlaws. They truly want to make this game accessible for everyone. There is a plethora of options there, whether that's visual, hearing, and everything else in between. But not only that, there are certain just little things you can tweak when it comes to difficulty. You're having trouble in combat, like me, then you can make that a little bit easier. You wanting to have a bit more of a breeze when it comes to the story and just focus on story, you can do that also. Having trouble picking locks, having trouble doing any of the little mini games, there's little tweaks for that too, and it's highly appreciated. Again, very different video to throw up on the channel, but I've been given an opportunity and I'm gonna go with it, and I'm hoping that I give some decent first impressions when it comes to Star Wars Outlaws, and I appreciate your time listening to those, as well as seeing the gameplay that I've captured, whether I am dying or, you know, doing quite well in the game. But I appreciate your time. If you are planning on getting Star Wars Outlaws, let me know in the comment section below, or if you're giving it a miss, let me know why that is as well. If you like the video, then throw me a like. I appreciate it, and if you want to stick around for some more content, then I appreciate that also. You can hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.